So not too long ago, a few nights ago, I posted a video on what originally was the Spray Buddy, and now I'm calling GCI Turf Injection. I got a lot of feedback on that about a backflow preventer being on your water spigot, and absolutely, I agree, 100%. In my original design for this injection system, I designed and built in a backflow preventer. It was part of the original design, but the cost of it was going to be about 5 times greater. So in my thinking, you know, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just thinking to myself, hey, it's common sense if you're going to hook an injection system up to a garden hose, that the garden hose is hooked up to a water spigot, and that water supply comes from inside your house. I automatically assume that people have enough common sense to put a backflow preventer on it. That's just the way I think, and I apologize for giving people the benefit of the doubt. I probably shouldn't have done that. And read the comments, and a lot of people said, hey, you need a backflow preventer. And again, I'm 100% on board with that. It's just in my mind, I'm thinking it's common sense. People ought to just automatically know to do that. But what I might think is common sense may not be common sense to somebody else. So I get it. I understand. I have to kind of touch on all the bases on all this stuff. So the original video is about to play now. It's going to kind of just go back through the whole thing again. And the reason for that is I wanted this to be a part of that video so that somebody doesn't watch the other video and not get a chance to see me saying you must use a backflow preventer with the GCI turf injection, period. No exceptions to that. We'll call it a rule if you want to. That is a rule. You have to use a backflow preventer with it. So the backflow preventer will go on your water spigot or your water source or wherever you hook to, then your leader hose, then the injection system, then the rest of your garden hose going out to wherever it's going to. On the product page, I added a link. It's at the very top. Big bold letters, you can't miss it. You click on that link, it shoots you over to a Google page with a plethora of different backflow preventers. That way you can pick and choose the one you want. So again, the purpose of the backflow preventer is, you know, your backpack sprayer is pumping your products into the flow of water, and the backflow preventer will eliminate the chance of those products that are going into the flow of water to go back up into your home and, you know, contaminate the water supply inside your house, because by all means I don't want that. I mean, who in the world wants to take an RGS shower, right? So I want to make it very clear, if you purchase the GCI turf injection, you must use it with a backflow preventer. 0 exceptions, no exceptions whatsoever. So I want to make that very clear so that, you know, nobody's confused. So here's the original video. Enjoy. Well, hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. I've been kind of waiting on this moment for almost 3 years now, and I've got right here in my hand what's was originally known as the GCI Turf Spray Buddy. That's what we originally named it. And of course, you remember, what was I doing, washing a car or something, a truck or something, and I told you that the name was actually going to change. So this is what you've been hearing me talk about for so long. It is the GCI Turf Spray. It used to be the GCI Turf Spray Buddy, the name. We are calling it GCI Turf Injection now. So what you used to hear me talk about GCI Turf Spray Buddy is now GCI Turf Injection. Now, I got to say this because I'm extremely proud of this $20,000 that I spent. It is patent pending. It is officially patent pending and in the final processes of actually having a real deal patent on it. And Yeah, you heard me right. I spent $20,000 on the patent alone. So I want you to let that sink in. This isn't a very expensive setup. The margins on it, I'm not killing it by no means. Understand how many of these I would have to sell to recoup $20,000. To be honest with you, it's not really about the money for me, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's more about protecting something I invented and something I come up with. So the reason I spent the money on the patent, obviously, is for protection, legal protection. That nobody can steal your design or your idea or anything. So, and on the what's taking so long, it wasn't me. I don't drag my feet on nothing. I'm not lazy. I get it done. It wasn't me. This whole patent process is a very long and grueling, drawn out process. We've been in the patent process for 3 years, back and forth. I have a patent attorney, and he specializes in patent work and trademark work, and we've been going back and forth with the government for 3 years on this, and it's still not finalized. Like I said, it is patent pending. That means, to my knowledge, according to my attorney, I'm officially protected by law under that, but that just goes to show how slow they are. That's not my fault, okay? I have nothing to do with that. I can't go to Washington or wherever they're at and say, get my patent done. It just don't work that way. They have their own timeline, and they get things done as they get it done. So it is what it is. It's super duper simple. It's going to blow you away when you see how simple it is. It's a poly fitting that I designed and had manufactured, and basically, in a nutshell, it allows you to inject material, and what I mean by material is like lawn care products. Now, I want to make sure this is over the top clear. Fungicides, herbicides, pre-emergent, real chemicals. I am in no way suggesting you use this for that. I want to make that clear. So don't email me and say, hey, Pete, can I use this with pre-emergent? The answer is no. Pete, can I use this with my fungicide? The answer is no. Can I use this with herbicides? The answer is no. So now you know that you can't use it with those. If you do that, it's on your own accord. You're on your own. The reason for that is it's not an actual metered style injection. The metering apparatus, or the metering device, is the pump on your sprayer. That's what actually meters it into the flow of water. So as far as fertilizers go, NPK, liquids, biostimulants, like I've got RGS, Humic 12, and Air 8 sitting right here. I'm not saying that you don't need to be accurate with those applications. You absolutely do. But there's a little bit more forgiveness in those materials versus, true herbicide, true chemical type things. So basically, in a nutshell, this is going to be connected in line with your garden hose, and then you're going to connect your sprayer to the T-fitting part, and these will come in 2 different ways. They'll come 2 different ways with 4 variations. All right. One of the ways it comes is for Flowzone and Strom users. So if you have a Flowzone or a Strom, you know that on the gun there's a female quick connect, and it basically clicks right in to the GCI turf injection. Now, another way is if you have my quick disconnect system for the Flowzone or the Strom, you actually take the gun off. You don't need the gun, and then it quick disconnects directly into the hose, the spray hose of your sprayer. And again, this is Flowzone and Strom, or any sprayer that would have a female 1/4 inch quick disconnect, because on this end, on the GCI turf injection end, there's a 1/4 inch male plug, quick disconnect plug. Now let's say you don't have or don't want to buy the quick disconnect system I put together and you want to use the gun. Completely fine. Well, you don't want to sit here and hold the trigger down the entire time you're using it, okay? It's not going to work that way. You need something to depress the trigger so that you can walk away and go do your thing, if you're using it to water your yard, or if you're actually applying it with the Chemlon gun. You need some way to depress this trigger. That could be with a tie strap, and then you cut it off and throw it away. I know you've seen at Lowe's these little plastic clamps. They're really inexpensive, like a few dollars a piece or something, and it's like an actual clamp, a spring-loaded clamp, but they're made of plastic, and you would basically just clamp it around the gun like that to hold the gun trigger closed. Buy a pack of tie straps. That's the cheapest thing, and just tie strap it down when you use it. Of course, we're going to go through and set it up, and I'm going to show you the different ways to use it here in a second, but I just want to go through the options first. Now, if it's for the flow zone or for the Strom, that they use the same thread pattern down here, so you can do the quick disconnect with my quick disconnect kit. The actual GCI turf injection comes two different ways. Let me get the other one so I can show you. So inside the flow zone option, there are two ways it comes. One is a more expensive way, a more expensive option, and that's with all stainless steel fittings. Everything on it stainless steel, except for the poly fitting, obviously. And then another way is a lesser expensive option, and these are brass quick disconnects. Because I created this thing to work with quick disconnects specifically, so that you could hook and unhook really quick, real fast. Just pop, 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 set it up, turn it on, go. So that's the reason for the quick disconnects, and everybody may not want to spend the extra money on the stainless steel version. So that's why we've got a lesser expensive brass option as well. So that is the two variants within the flow zone or Strom sprayer. And then also I have another poly fitting that is an 11/16 female threaded poly fitting that takes the place of the 1/4 inch quick disconnect plug. This one will fit a plethora of different sprayers. It'd blow your mind. I bet I bought 20 different brands of backpack sprayers, battery powered backpack sprayers. Bought at least 20 to test them all to make sure they worked with this particular fitting. Now, on the product page of the website, I'm going to list all of those sprayers out. If you do not see your sprayer listed on that website, it doesn't mean it won't work. It just means that you need to do your homework and find out if your particular sprayer, somewhere from the hose to the spray gun, somewhere or another, has a 11/16 threaded male fitting. Okay, because the male screws into the female, right? So you need to make sure on your end you have an 11/16 male fitting, and it will screw right into this bad boy. And of course that would actually be in the GCI turf injection fitting itself. Inside of those categories, we will have the same two options. Okay, that'll be under the little drop down bar on the website. It'll say something like other sprayers or other backpack sprayers. That will give you the option to choose stainless or brass, either one. Now, if you do go the stainless steel version, understand that the poly fitting is poly. Okay, nobody makes this 11/16 female in stainless steel that I know of. So it's poly, it's not stainless. Just be aware of that. Now, one thing you do want to be aware of is, because this 11/16 fitting is screwed on and it's not a quick disconnect, you will, and we're going to hook all this up in a minute, I'm going to show you the details. This is the training video. Okay, sometimes you get a training video in an email confirmation when you buy something from me. Well, you're not going to get that with this particular device, because you're watching the training video now. So what you would do is, all this would be unhooked, and this would actually be screwed into the end, and whatever your sprayer is that you're going to connect to the 11/16 female, you'd actually screw that on first, okay? Because once you get your garden hose hooked up on both ends here, like this, and you got garden hose here and garden hose, you can't twist it and you can't screw it on, and you definitely don't want to twist the backpack sprayer to screw it on. So you actually take just the fitting itself alone, the GCI turf injection fitting, and you screw it onto the 11/16 male, and then you go back and you hook all your garden hose stuff up, and then you use it. And then to unhook it, you reverse the order. You would unhook the garden hose first, and then unscrew the GCI turf injection. Flowzone and Strom, you can go ahead and hook up your garden hose first, and then quick disconnect, because there's no screwing that has to be done. It's just you pop it on, pop it off. And just to kind of go over this again, because I can't remember if I've already said it, but this will be in line of your garden hose, and you'll put your biostimulants or your liquid fertilizer in your battery powered sprayer. And so as your water's flowing through the garden hose, your battery powered sprayer is pumping the material in line into the garden hose, and then whatever the means is on the other end of how you're applying it, you're applying your products with a source of water. So I'm going to go ahead and get a hose out right here, and we're going to put some stuff out right here on the bluegrass and kind of give you an idea of how it works. All right, so for this example, I'm going to use the stainless steel version. Now, my water source is in the ground right here, okay? This manifold behind me, pay absolutely no attention to that. That has nothing to do with this. This represents a typical garden hose water spigot on the wall. And of course, you'll get all the necessary quick disconnects with the kit, whether it be stainless steel or whether it be the brass one. And this would actually quick disconnect into your water spigot on the wall. And of course, mine's down here in the ground, so I'm going to hook that up. And this is a little short leader hose. You can pick these up at Lowe's or anywhere. Most of the time they're like 6 foot long. They're really inexpensive, so you'll have to get one of those. I'm simply going to take and quick disconnect to my GCI turf injection. And this right here is the leader hose that goes to my hose reel, that feeds my hose reel. And I'm basically going to quick connect that to the GCI turf injection. And then I'm going to come right here with my Flowzone quick disconnect, quick connect, whichever one you want to call it, and I'm going to connect it right there. So that's set up, ready to go. This is the end of my garden hose, okay? You would hook this to your water sprinkler or to your regular, any kind of nozzle that you use to put on the end of your garden hose. There's an upgrade to where you can add the Kimlon gun. Of course, we outfit it with the correct fittings, and that's what I'm going to be applying this with right now. And I basically quick connect it to that. That is so incredibly sexy, I'm telling you. You just don't know how long I've waited to show this. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to treat this area with RGS, Humic, and Aerate all at the same time. It's all going to go into the sprayer. The Humic 12. Use the biostimulant of your choice because it works with all of them. Give it a quick stir. Put my top on. Now I'm gonna go over and turn my water supply on, grab my spray gun, turn my sprayer on. Now let's see if you can watch it change colors. Oh boy, look at there, bleeding the air out of the line. And look at there. Now I'm able to apply my products out of the GCI turf injection, and man, I'm going down with a lot of heavy water. This is so cool. So those of you that want that lots of heavy volume of water going down, this is it. Now another cool use is, what if I want to water my plants, trees and shrubs, or anything like that, and apply my material at the same time? So this is how you do it. Now you want to see what I think is the coolest thing about this. Here's my big sprinkler right here. I'm gonna quick connect my garden hose to it. I'm gonna take it out here and set it in the yard. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna turn my sprayer on. Then I'm gonna come right here and turn my water source on. Now, I am watering my grass, applying my biostimulant, and watering my biostimulant in all at the same time. So I'm gonna sit over here and chill and just watch that sprinkler run. And I can see my brown water just getting down into the ground right there. Look at there. That's magic. Man, I like that a lot. So did you hear me turn the pressure up on the pump? If I want to do it a little bit faster, I just turn the pressure up. If I want to do it a little bit slower, I turn the pressure down. Up, down. All right, we're empty. Look at there. You can hear that, it's out now. Well, Pete, how do I clean my hose out once I've got all that material in my hose? Well, it's simple. When your sprayer runs out, you turn the power off. And you go over here and you sit down. Like it's right here. And you let the water push what's in the hose out and put it in the ground where it belongs. And you can sit here and you can watch your sprinkler, and that water will turn from a little brown tingy color, depending on what bios you're using, and then it'll go back to clear like the color of water is supposed to be. And then you'll know that your stuff has left the building. It's left the hose. Look at that. That thing's putting it down, boy. So how do I disconnect the system? Well, that's easy. You unhook your sprinkler, you unhook your Chemlong gun, you roll your hose up. Obviously, this is after you flush it all out with water. And of course, you want to take a minute, clean your sprayer out, however you choose to do so. Then you come right here, you click, click, click. Then you take your means of application, whether that be the sprinkler, a sprinkler, or a gun, or the Chemlong gun. And you take your GCI turf injection, you go lay it on your shelf, and you're done. So I know the question is, why did I change the name of it? Well, I changed the name of it because in the past year I've come up with another invention, I guess is what you call it, another design on something different that I'm going through another patent process on it. And I decided that that particular invention, the name Spray Buddy, fit it better. So that's on its way. We're simply waiting on parts from manufacturers to roll in. I've got a shipment coming in next week, tractor trailer load of parts, and then that May 30th day deadline that I've given all of them, I'm supposed to have my other part, a tractor trailer load full of parts coming in. So that'll be coming right around the corner here before long. And the question would be, will this work with the Spray Buddy? It absolutely will work with it, and that was by design, 100% by design, so that they are compatible. So how in the world do you calibrate something like this? Well, it's pretty simple. It's actually quite simple. And I do want to say that is this injection system absolutely dead spot on perfect? The answer is no, it's not. What does make it pretty dang accurate is your pump that actually pushes the material into the line. That's what gives it the consistency, okay? If this particular Typhoon, if I'm on pressure setting 1, I know that it's pumping at about 7 or 8 psi constantly until it runs out. If I'm up on pressure setting 5, I know that it's pumping at 120, 130 psi, one of the two. I can't remember which one. Maybe 160. It's one of those. I get it confused with the other one. I can't remember. But the point is, the pressure is consistent. It's a continuous pressure going into the line. Obviously, you have a continuous pressure going through your garden hose, so that's what makes it pretty dang accurate. Where you might find a little bit of inaccuracy is if you're spraying with the gun and you have to stop spraying, the flow stops, and the pump is going to continue pumping for a few more seconds. Okay, that's just what it does. The flow zone does that. I can't speak for all of them, but I can speak for this one. Maybe 5 to 6, 7 seconds, and then it senses a pressure. It senses that back pressure against the pump, and it cuts off. That's what it does. And then when you press the trigger on the spray gun again, it senses the release of pressure, and then it cuts back on. So during that 4, 5, 6, 8 second time period, you will get a little bit more concentrated product built up in the garden hose, okay? Now by the time it gets out to the end of the garden hose, it's kind of mixed back in the water very well. I have noticed that when I'm doing that, if I stop and then start back spraying, I'll see it becomes a touch darker. You'll see a little bit of color change coming out of the hose. Just keep getting it. You know, that's the reason that I said it's not suitable for herbicides, fungicides, pesticide, insecticide, chemicals. It's not to be used with chemicals, okay? Because you do need to be highly accurate in your calibration with that. But the fertilizer, liquid fertilizers like Green Punch, Green Pop, Green Charge, the Iron, Green Effect, my 2000, any of my line of fertilizers, it's just more forgiving, okay, than an actual herbicide. Now, obviously, it's like spraying anything else. Don't stand there and douse your grass with this, okay? Use common sense. But that's the main reason why I don't think it's suitable for, the high-powered chemicals versus fertilizer or biostimulants. Now, how do I know all this? Well, I've had the thing for 3 years. My first prototype I made up, I used the thing non-stop. And the videos you've been seeing me do for 3 years, I've been using it all over the place, testing it out, trying it out, multiple different ways. And you see my yard, it ain't hurt a dang thing. It actually has improved it quite a bit. Applying this stuff makes your yard look better. So that's why I'm able to sit here and confidently say that it works very well with biostimulants and liquid fertilizers. Don't use any of the other chemicals and herbicides and fungicides with it. Just don't do it. So how do you calibrate it? It's very simple. If you're using the gun, You're going to start with water, obviously, first. You're going to fill it up with water, and you're going to pick your desired pressure, whether that be pressure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this holds true for any sprayer. You know, the Strom, you'd have a pressure low and a high pressure setting, so you would pick one. And then you're going to turn your water on, you're going to turn the power on the pump, and you're going to go through the motions, and you're going to walk, and you're going to spray your yard just as if you're spraying with anything else. You know, you pick your pace, your walking speed, where you get really good coverage, and you're going to keep an eye on the sprayer the whole time, and when it gets down to a certain point and it runs out, then you stop spraying. Come over here, cut everything off, cut your water off, cut your sprayer off, go back and measure the area that you just sprayed. For this example, and this is an example, this isn't cut and dried, we're going to pretend that when you had 4 gallons in here, you covered 5,000 square feet. All right, so that means you need to put 5,000 square feet worth of material or products in the tank. I recommend you always do that at a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning 2 gallons of water. You'll always have water. You'll never put a straight concentrated product in here. Always pre-dilute it with water. So 2 gallons of water, 2 gallons of product. That would be the max that I would go at to be safe. You could potentially push it to a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning 1 gallon of water, 3 gallons of product. It really depends on what you're putting down and the area you're covering, if you're using a sprinkler or a gun. But to be safe, you would want to go a 1-to-1. 2 gallons of water, 2 gallons of product, or 1 gallon of water, 1 gallon of product, as long as it's 1-to-1. So for the example, if we happen to cover 5,000 square feet, that means I need 5,000 square feet worth of water, with a product in here. And let's say we're using a product that calls for 8 ounces a 1,000. 8 times 5 is 40. So I would put 40 ounces of material or product in here, and of course the rest water. And then I could go out, turn everything on, the same pressure setting that I tested with water, and I could go out and spray at the same walking pace and cover that 5,000 square feet, and you're going to put that 40 ounces of material on the 5,000 square feet. Now, a little bit trickier with water sprinkler, because you know a lot of times a water sprinkler sprays in a circle. What's that, pi 3.14, pi equals mc squared, or I don't know, something crazy like that. I don't dig into math that deep. You'll do your own homework on that, and you'll figure out how to off Google will tell you how to do a measurement of a circle for square footage, or a 90-degree angle, or a pie shape. You'll have to figure that out on your own. And so once you figure the square footage out of that sprinkler, and you do that by setting the sprinkler out in the yard, turning it on, following the outline of the sprinkler, how you know where it throws to, measure that area, and then you'll know how much square footage that sprinkler can cover. Let's just say, for example's sake, that your sprinkler covers 2,000 square feet. That means you need to put 2,000 square foot worth of product in that tank. Make sure it's at a 1-to-1 ratio with water product, and turn the sprinkler on. Turn your sprayer on and sit there and watch it work. It's absolutely crazy that you know, you can water your material in at the same time you're applying your material. And again, that is fertilizers and bios. I want to stress that, because I know somebody's going to email me and say, well, can I spray fungicides through it? And my answer will be no, 100% of the time. So I'm sure someone's going to ask the question, can I use this with my underground irrigation system? The answer is no, you may not. It is not designed to be used with an underground irrigation system. It's designed to be used with a battery-powered backpack sprayer. So you can see the calibration is pretty simple. Again, it's not 100% spot on, perfectly accurate, but for biostimulants and liquid fertilizers and things like that, I think it's pretty dang accurate. Again, I know that because I've been using the thing on my yard for quite some time now. Haven't had the first issue on. I do want to say this, you want to be sure that if you use this with a sprinkler and you set your sprinkler up, be cautious of where the water goes, meaning Don't let it spray on your house, or on your sidewalk, or on your truck, or whatever. Make sure it's actually hitting grass area. Of course, if it swings around and gets a little bit in the natural area and comes back around, that's not going to hurt a thing. I just want you to be sure you know that wherever that sprinkler water comes in contact with, whatever's in that tank is going to be on that as well. So you need to be aware of that. So yeah, man, I'm tickled about this thing. It's really cool. It's even got my logo stamped on the fitting right there, the GCI Turf logo. So it's pretty cool, man. I'm very thankful for a mind to be able to come up with stuff like this. I mean, it's simple. I got a simple mind. I think in simple ways, and this is just incredibly simple, but incredibly effective, very effective, and works very well. And you can look online and see injection systems, and they're anywhere from $600 to $10,000. You can find like super high-end injection systems, and for what this kit right here is going to cost, is a fraction of that. I mean, a fraction. And then like I said, I've got the brass one around here somewhere. The brass one's even cheaper than this one. So it's not a super duper expensive item, but it's going to allow you to do a lot more things with your applications, especially if you're interested in using more water volume, because you're getting your water volume from your hose pipe and through the spray gun or through the irrigation sprinkler that you set up. That's where all your volume's coming from, and so you're essentially applying the product to an area and watering it in. Especially if you're using the sprinkler. That's exactly what you're doing. And if you're using the spray gun, depending on your water pressure from your well or your city water and all that, you're putting down a very heavy amount of water onto the turf. You're saturating the turf, getting complete perfect coverage, and man, I think it's game-changing stuff for homeowners. I really do. Again, something plain, something simple, but something extremely effective. So you've heard me say this 100 times, so I'm going to say it again. There is a link in the description below for this bad boy, and you can click on it, check it out. Be sure that you read the product page in detail so that you for sure get the right one that fits your particular sprayer. And of course, we got the option for the gun as well. These guns aren't cheap. That is a little bit more of a pricey purchase. I think that gun right there is I think it's about $89, $85, and then by the time we add the fittings on it, it almost becomes a $100 spray gun. So do be aware of that the spray gun does run the price up a little bit, but I think you're gonna like this, especially those of you that do a lot of hand watering your yard and you move sprinklers around and things like that. This thing's going to be magic for you. I'm going to tell you that now. Absolute magic. So I think that's all I got. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of the day to watch, and I don't just say that, but out of habit. I mean, you're watching like a 30-minute video or something, and you could be spending your time doing something else, but you're watching me talk about a fertilizer injection thing and a spray gun with grass. So I don't take that lightly at all, and I absolutely do respect it and appreciate it. So when you hear me say that, I'm actually meaning it. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.